You're a drunken lush.
Well, hello there.
Hey, where are the white women at?
All week long. Good to see everybody. Don't forget, like this video if you haven't already. How's everybody Monday going? It is like a Monday here for sure. Long story short, I jumped in the shower, took a quick shower before the show, jump out of the shower. I forgot a towel. Look underneath the old sink there where we keep towels. No towels there. So then I must make the long walk to the garage, dripping, sopping wet. And then quickly noticing, here we are. Time to start the show. Put on a video for us to watch here in Zoom court. And of course, right away, they're gone. Out of here. Good to see everybody. Glad you're here. Oh, look at Kim with her first live. You'll never forget your first time, Kim. Never. Like this video. Zoom court. I'm not a lawyer. Neither are you. So let's watch it together. And let's do that. And that.
We had attempted to agree on dates for the defendant to return, and we had asked the city to confirm those dates. The city did not confirm those dates, and then Mr. Dockery had filed an action against the city of Detroit, in which the city then decided that they were no longer going to allow Linden's LLC access to the property.
All right, thank you. So noted. Mr. Michaels.
I think the court's order covered everything. I guess I do have an obligation to my client just because I had put it in the motion, though I feel I know the court's decision. The city did request fees and sanctions for responding to the motion. I just wanted to make sure the record that has a ruling on it is all.
All right, the court notes that the request from the city of Detroit and that is denied. However, in terms of any damages,
slowly disappearing.
Both parties have a right to bring any issues of damages to either the civil court on this bench or circuit court or federal court where the pending action is.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, and Mr. Michaels, I need an order.
Yes, Your Honor. And submit it email it to your clerk. Is that the best way to get the order to you? Email it to the
clerk. Yes, at least by the end of the day tomorrow.
Okay. Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, are you kidding me? Of course they're done there, of course. And just in time for this. I mean, who says we don't pander for cash? Good to see you, Dave. Let's go ahead and jump somewhere else because that's how it works around here. Not every time will we be sitting forever waiting for something to happen. Sometimes we just get kicked out of court. Just like that. It happens. Heading now. Let's give this a try. Judge in the 175th district. I'm not sure what we're doing here, but man, we got a packed house. Let's find out what's going on.
2 CR 2149, State of Texas versus Liam Alexander Snow. Are both sides present? Ready to proceed? If you'll state your name for the record.
Hunter Morris for the state. Ready.
Tom and Shane Kaiser for Liam Alex Snow, and we're ready, Your Honor.
Okay.
That was great.
All right. And Mr. Snow, you previously pled on this charge of possession of marijuana, 5 pounds to 50 pounds on May 25th, 2022. There was a pre-sentence investigation and a TAP evaluation that were conducted. Did you have an opportunity to review that information with your attorney?
We have that, Your Honor. I have shared that with Alex. There's just one correction we would like to point out to the court. I pointed it out to Laura that the designation of counsel needs to be corrected. For some reason, Ms. Benavides is referenced as defense counsel. It should be
It's a big
Tom
window.
and Shane Kaiser, Your Honor. Other than that, we're okay with it.
Okay. All right. Those changes will be noted for the record. And
Did you send it to me, Billy? Or are you just going to tell me about it?
you have witnesses you want to present, Mr. Kaiser?
We do, Your Honor.
You
They're in
put
the
me
courtroom. I want to be respectful to your docket and your time today. We've provided the court with a number of letters
Ted
from
Wood is
those same
sleepy.
witnesses. And
I do have those letters and I have reviewed them.
thank you, because those letters are from his sponsor, his employer, the fellow who runs the sober living home in Austin at Three Pillars. They're all here. His parents are here. His grandfather is here. The two young ladies on the screen, Cassidy and Elizabeth, are the two counselors from Alpha 180. I'd like them to just briefly address the court because the PSI references a comment or two from the Alpha 180 discharge summary. And I think that Elizabeth and Cassidy, if given an opportunity, would like to perhaps clarify.
This is the
some wording
sleepiest
on the
bunch of
discharge
attorneys
summary.
I've ever seen.
And we
Who do you
have,
want to call?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Who would you like to call first?
Cassidy, please.
Does Hunter have a birthmark on his forehead? Or am I seeing that right?
Okay, if you'll raise your right hand, and you'll need to unmute yourself and raise your right hand for me. All right, do you solemnly swear affirm testimony you're about to give in the case now trial will be the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, you may proceed.
Thank you. Cassidy, would you please state your name for the record?
Yes, Cassidy Conway.
Okay, and how are you employed?
I am a primary therapist at Alpha 180.
Okay, and in
job.
connection with that employment, have you had an opportunity to meet Liam Alexander Snow?
Yes, I was his primary therapist.
Okay, and do you recall about how long Alex stayed with you there at 180, at Alpha 180?
Call him Al Snow.
Yes, so Mr. Snow was admitted in October and stayed with us for 5 months into March of 2022.
Okay, do you recall that prior to being admitted to your facility, he was a residential patient at La Hacienda in Hunt, Texas?
Yes, sir.
Hey man, don't look at my my cousin. Yeah, he's got a thing, man. Don't talk about his birthmark, man. Don't talk about it. Call him Strawberry.
Okay, so Cassidy, just to cut to the chase, can you let the court know what you observed about Alex's treatment and his recovery efforts while he was with you for those 5 months?
Yes, so while we worked together for those 5 months, Mr. Snow and I discussed his relationship with substances and how that has impacted his relationship with his loved ones, this current legal situation, and of course, his overall quality of life. And as we worked together and as he lived in our community, he engaged in his recovery. He made connections with other young men that are working on their sobriety as well. And he became a president of our community as well, which was elected by other peers.
Okay.
Who?
And when it was time for Alex to move on and to be discharged, was he discharged satisfactory? Had he complied with the terms, the conditions, and the rules of your program?
Yes, sir. He completed 3 months of intensive outpatient programming, followed by 2 months of outpatient programming, and maintained in sober living, sober for a full 5 months, and completed and also graduated from the program.
Good for Al Snow.
Thank you. The the court, after Alex entered a plea back in May, asked for what they call a pre-sentence investigation. And there's a reference in that pre-sentence investigation report as to, as to Alex's chances to maintain his sobriety. And I saw the word fair referenced in connection with the Alpha 180 program. Would you comment on that, or is that a correct terminology as to your professional opinion as to whether Alex, if given an opportunity to be on community supervision, would maintain his sobriety, and whether that word fair is a good adjective?
So at that time, back in March, we did see kind of a moderate opportunity for Mr. Snow around his recovery. The recommendation was that would improve and there would be more likely success of long-term recovery with continued efforts of engaging in a 12-step program.
My understanding is we're in the process right now of go ahead and laying the groundwork, because we're about to sentence this young man who finished his rehab as president.
Continued sober living, as well as continuing to receive clinical support and services.
Okay. And over the last 3 or 4 months, have you had follow-up contact with Alex Snow, and which has validated and confirmed your prognosis as it's better now than you initially thought?
So I have maintained communication with Mr. Snow, and I will say from March up until this point, he has shown tremendous growth. By following those recommendations of continue living in a sober living, continuing to work a 12-step program, he's just really taken on his sobriety truly for himself. And the opportunity for long-term recovery seems very good with continuing to work a 12-step program. He's now sponsoring other young men. He's just greatly received benefits in his relationships from sobriety, and even professionally is growing as well. And I see a big attribute of this too, is his relationship with God and leaning into really working a spiritual program. So at this point, as of today, from everything I've seen, he really has grown tremendously. And I see the desire to live a full recovery truly for himself.
Thanks, Cassidy. I pass the witness.
I have no questions for Ms. Cassidy. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Cassidy. You're free to go if you need to.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Cassidy. We'd like to call Elizabeth Roth, please.
All right, Ms. Roth, if you'll unmute yourself and raise your right hand, please. You solemnly swear affirm testimony you're about to give in the case now trial be the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay, you may proceed, counsel.
Would you please state your name
My name is Elizabeth Bickle
for
Rolfe.
the record, Elizabeth?
Oh, my name is Elizabeth Rolfe.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Elizabeth. And how are you employed, Elizabeth?
I'm the clinical director at Alpha 180, and I supervise all of our clinical teams.
He's a pillar of the community. Ties, strong ties.
In that context, Elizabeth, did you have the opportunity to meet Liam Alexander Snow during the last year?
I did.
Okay. And were you part of his recovery team?
I was.
Okay. And Cassidy Conway just testified as to what her role was and what her opinions are going forward. Would you care to comment briefly on your assessment and prognosis for Alex's long-term sobriety and commitment to recovery?
Yes. And I'd like to clarify too, the wording when a client leaves a treatment facility, the options are kind of poor, fair, or good, right? It's hard to say that anyone's going to do good because they do well in treatment, right? And so fair is more of a moderate. At the time that Mr. Snow discharged, we gave him a moderate fair chance. It wasn't poor. He wasn't
Let's
it
hear it
wasn't
for his
terribly
discharge.
terrible. But it's hard to say that anybody's going to do good just based on the risk of relapse and what we're dealing with substance use. And so what we were able to see with Mr. Snow in his time with treatment was an increased engagement, identifying goals and dreams to propel and develop a future outside of the past life he had been living. Renewed relationships with his community, with his family. He was receptive to feedback. He questioned things that he didn't understand.
I'm glad
and was curious
that
to grow and learn and
Al Snow is doing
discover.
But
and he made mistakes, and he owned mistakes when he made
unless
them.
Al Snow's
He
going to stand
was,
up there kicking over
willing
chairs.
to examine himself and his shortcomings. And that is a really big thing that we look for in this process, is someone willing to examine themselves to grow. I think so. That was, he did a lot in the 5 months.
Growing
He
examination.
left Alpha 180, moved into another sober living, and was able to come back as a graduate, as an alumni, sponsor men.
All right, so we're leaving that. We're going over here to Judge Herman and see what's going on. We have a very upset looking young lady. Again, please like this video if you haven't already. Let's head to court with Herman Marbell. Why she looks so distraught?
Did you do jail time on this at all?
Yes, I did.
How long were you in jail?
I don't remember.
Damn if I wouldn't.
Was it more than a, huh?
It was about a week, yeah. Maybe a couple days, like maybe 3-4 days.
You're saying rewind, she's nuts. Well,
And like I've done everything that I was supposed to.
I'm pretty sure I
The
can
last
rewind.
time that we were in court together, like you were a completely like everything was fine. You understood the situation. You were yes.
Okay.
Who's Carrie Von
Miss
Horn?
Smith, are you in bed right now?
I'm sitting in my room.
Oh shit. Oh hell. You done called him at a bad time.
You just said, but she's in Tennessee, so how can we know where she is?
I didn't say that. I said, what has she got on?
This is just my
What has
pillow.
she got on?
It's just a pillow.
What are you wearing? Good to see you,
Is she
Nancy.
wearing like a nightgown?
No, it's a tank top. Oh my goodness.
This is the date and time for sentencing of your client here, Mr. Wheaton. And she's not here in person. She's down in Knox County, Tennessee, she tells me.
Oh.
And
country.
The notice to appear told her to appear in person.
Well, my advice to her would be.
Papa Graham.
Kind enough to reset the matter, she needs to get her body up here. I can't help.
Know
her
that.
if she's down here.
I just didn't have enough time to get money.
Ma'am, would you wait till I'm done talking, please?
Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
You need to get up here. You can't be sentenced by Zoom. Think about it.
You'll get it.
You don't come up here, the court's gonna issue a bench warrant, and eventually, when you least expect it, you'll be minding your own business in Tennessee, and the next thing you know, you'll be in jail awaiting a fugitive warrant from the state of Michigan. So it's better to get up here and deal with it ASAP. Now, Your Honor, having said all that, I'd ask the court to give her a new date. And
Well, I want to tell her one other thing. She was talking about bringing her kids up here. you don't need to do that either.
Don't be bringing them kids. Leave them at home.
Well, I'm not sure who they're
Well,
gonna
you
stay
do.
with.
Well, you'll have to figure that out, I guess.
You better
You
call
have somebody for them
somebody.
to stay up here?
No, I don't. I
What-
don't.
what doesn't really-
I don't have any family
She's
up
from
there.
here. She's
That
from
doesn't mean
here.
I don't have any family left up here, up there,
Well, I don't know where your family is.
here,
Where is
but
it
they
then?
they all work full time. So
Well, ma'am, you'll have to figure something out.
no, I understand that. I'm just saying it's just I have to bring my kids regardless. I
She's
mean,
breathing.
I'm not saying they're gonna be in the court with me. I was just
mean,
telling you if I was to ride a bus, that's how it would
kids.
happen.
Well, the issue is not whether they're here in town with you. The issue is that you can't bring them to court with you.
No,
Because
I
you're going
know.
to
He
jail.
told me to take a bus, and I said I'd have to pay for 3 bus tickets. That's I don't know why my kids are in it. I was just saying that I had to bring them.
Ma'am, listen. I don't know how you're going to handle it. But don't think that bringing the kids here will impact what will happen one way or the other.
I know it won't.
Put them in prison daycare.
So if you give me a new court date with enough reasonable time for me to get the gas money or the bus fare to come up there, I will do so.
That's so sad, Ricky.
Ma'am, when did I give you the
My
first
court was
date?
originally by Zoom last week, and the computer systems were down. I tried to call the clerk's office several times, and I couldn't get in until last Friday. And then
Ma'am,
and then I got this
when
paper
you
in the
pled-
mail.
Wait, when you pled guilty on April 11th, were you in Michigan or were you in Tennessee?
I was in Michigan. That's how I got permission
Well,
from you to
Ma'am,
leave.
did you not, well, wait a minute, did you not think that you were going to have to come back here?
No, I knew I would, but you kept telling me I was waiting for some pre-sentencing report from my probation officer, and I just talked to him on Thursday, and he finally sent it over to you guys. So that was the whole
Well,
reason,
you've had-
because I
I guess the way I look at it, you've had 4 months
I bet that thing
so
smells great.
far to raise your bus fare.
was waiting for the sentencing. I didn't know because I kept getting adjourned because my probation officer
Man,
didn't.
it has nothing to do with that. You knew you're gonna have to come up here to be sentenced. You've had 4 months since you pled guilty. So don't,
Okay.
I'm not the excuse guy. You're not gonna tell me the dog ate the vacuum cleaner and I'm gonna go along.
Last week,
You've
the
had
cat
4
ate
months
the
to get
vacuum
yourself
cleaner.
back up here or get the money together to do it. If you don't show up on the next sentencing date I give you, then there will be a bench warrant issued for your arrest.
I will be there.
Okay? And you need to be dressed appropriately for court.
Oh, none of that trashy clothes like you were wearing today. No, sir. What's that tattoo say? Let's say,
Okay, Katrina, let's see.
she Russian?
Let's look about the beginning of October.
I'm sorry, was this for pretrial or?
Sentencing.
For sentencing?
Mhm.
October the 3rd or the 10th?
The 3rd would be better.
No one asked you.
October 10th.
Yes, yes, yes,
Mm.
yes. Nice.
October 10th.
Judge said no, thank you.
At 9 a.m. for sentencing. Ma'am, I clear the whole week.
Okay.
You need to clear that whole week out. No kids, no
I can't,
What
sir,
else?
Your Honor, I can't clear a whole week without my children. I don't have anybody.
Well,
Like,
ma'am,
I
you know
can-
what? Maybe social services can help you with that.
Seriously?
Yeah. Mhm.
I'm gonna see if I can switch judges somehow. This is crazy.
Uh-oh.
It's not happening.
Well, I'm gonna have to retain my own counsel, Your Honor, because I don't really feel that this is fair.
What's not fair is
You're
had
telling me
here
that
when you were
social
told to be here.
services can deal with my children because I have to bring them up
Maybe.
there and I don't have a week to clear out of my schedule.
Ma'am, do you understand that you might be going to the county jail? Do you understand that that's a possibility?
Okay, I understand that, but I'm just saying,
Okay,
like,
so
you
if that
can't just.
happens, if you had your kids and you were taken to the county jail,
Uh-huh.
who do you suppose would be taking care of the kids at that point?
I would pull something out of my, you know what, but I can't just do that. Like
Then
like,
you need to start the process to do that. You
You
clear
better
the
start
whole week
pulling
out.
things out of your you-know-what.
okay.
Oh, well. You guys are way smarter than me. Yes, that's me. Sad, sad me. What's with his analogies of the cat ate the vacuum, the dog ate the vacuum?
How much, did you do jail time on this at all?
Yes, I did.
She in big
How
trouble.
long were you in jail?
I don't remember. A couple days.
Was it more than
It was about a week, yeah. Maybe a couple days, like
Okay.
3-4 days.
She's definitely going to jail.
And like I've done everything that I was supposed to. The last time that we were in court together, like you were a completely like everything was fine. You understood the situation. You were, you were
You're not
messing around.
here. You're not here right now when I told you to be here.
I
That's
know
a
that
problem.
I literally
You
had
can
a
see that's
6
not
day-
going over too well. So
I-
let's not have that problem on October 10th at 9, okay?
Okay, we won't, Your
Going
Honor.
over like a wet fart.
All right.
Leave your smelly cat pillow at home. Nobody wants that here. Heather Smith out. Well, she was a nice lady.
We've got her address.
We got her address.
We've got her address in Tennessee.
I think they're gonna have her
We'll
picked
send
up.
her a notice, not a problem. All right. Need it, she heard everything I needed to tell. Okay, what's next?
Well, that's a good question. We have a courtroom full of people that we can do. We've got 3 people, I think, or 4 in jail. And I got 13 people on Zoom I haven't talked to.
Holy
I
crap.
don't see all that getting done.
Well,
Gotta
you'll be
figure
here,
out
hey,
what we're gonna do with these Zoom people.
hey, they make me stay till 5 or 8 o'clock, whatever. I'm here.
I'm not staying there till
Yes,
8 o'clock.
Your Honor, as far as the jail people go, we're waiting for the jail to gather them and join us.
Okay,
All of them.
then we'll start in here. Unless Mr. Neal has something to tell me.
So,
That I have had an opportunity to discuss it with my client, what we have been discussing.
we're not on the record, Judge. Are you?
I know we're not on record, so we need to hear from Balzer to make sure it's okay, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
They need to look at it. All right. The gentleman here in the front row, what is your name? Not looking at me. No, this one on this side. What is your name, sir?
Horatio Brown.
Thank you.
Rachel Brown. I can't see the damn thing. I'll remove this for a sec. Boom. Prison daycare. Lifting weights, jackhammering rocks, and hammering stuff. That's what they do. That's what they do. Yeah, that last lady's in trouble. He is pissed. I wouldn't put it beyond him to have her locked up.
I have to type in everything.
Don't be bringing that stinky
So
pillow.
I was trying to do
Better leave
that,
it home.
we were on the record and whatever.
They didn't.
We rewinded just a little bit.
No, and it's not going to.
We can jump
anyone, so
ahead
we're
though
gonna do
to
updates
live
for
if
everything.
that makes everybody feel more Legitimate.
Yeah.
Did you take a blood alcohol test at the jail?
Yes,
You blew into a machine at the jail?
yes.
You know what you scored on it?
100. Perfect.
Yeah, well, oh, no. I do remember. I know it's over there. Mr. Brown, you, the CBT, you blew a .08, correct?
Well, wait a minute, I'm
Your
looking
second
for,
test at the
0.08.
jail, was your score higher or lower than that? I think it went lower.
You blew a .08.
It put me to 230.
Hey, Richard, it's your dad. Good to see you, Dick Harris.
I don't see, you know what I don't see in here?
Oh, well, hello there, Monica Hunt.
I'm not seeing anything from the breathalyzer or toxilizer or whatever they're using these days.
Thank you.
The only thing I found out was the PBT, Judge.
Well, we should, this is not a plea that I can take. Okay, we need to get a state prosecutor in here.
Good luck there. I don't think there's any around.
Well, drunk driving, man. What's
What's
going
that?
on?
Back problem as long as they know it's.
Well,
Back problem.
plea that I can take.
All right, let's adjourn this for a short period of time and
I want to see if we get a prosecutor in here. I don't see the,
I just was looking not 15 minutes.
we're gonna call, Glenda call.
You're gonna have to call.
Glenda cannot call, the phone's on my desk, Judge.
I don't
Glenda
care
call.
how the communication happens. I don't care how it happens.
I
Want it to
understand
happen.
that, Your
I
Honor.
want it to happen.
Do you know which prosecutor I should be calling on that matter? is
I
my
call
question.
Bo Grackus and he'll sort through it.
Bo Brackus. Let's call Bo Brackus.
He's back.
Everybody.
Okay. You guys give me a thumbs up or thumbs down symbol.
On what?
All right, Mr. Brown, why don't you have a seat?
All right. So this guy, we need to bring in some. I think we're going to drop his charges, if I'm not mistaken. Can't be taking no kids on the bus. Are you kidding me? The kids can't ride that bus. The kids are
Okay, we're gonna go back on the record in City of Flint versus Danielle Yvette Green. Case number 22G004250N.
back on the record.
Your Honor, Assistant City Attorney William Balser, P411, on behalf of the people of the city of Flint.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Rico O'Neill on behalf of Ms. Green, who is present seated at the table to my left.
Okay, so my understanding is there have been further plea negotiations, is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
And you all have reached some sort of a plea agreement, is that right?
I believe so, Your Honor. I can put what I believe to be the offer on the record and then have Mr. Neal confirm for you. As it stands, the city would ask for an adjournment for a 9-month period as of today. And
9
as a
months?
part of that adjournment, Ms. Green would resign effective at the end of this week as a part of her held office in the Board of Education.
Resign as a school board, okay.
Yes, Your Honor, resigned from her membership as a school board member.
My understanding is that
contact order would
the lady
remain,
has to reside
during the 9-month
being
period.
the school board.
Also, just to clarify in the record that no contact order as part of the resignation would include no contact as in attending the board meetings, the Board of Education meetings. At the end of
I would love to know what Miss Green did. Can anyone find out what Miss Green did?
the 9-month.
Who's on, excuse me, who's in the back of the room there? Is a gentleman with the black shirt and the white, is he part of the, does he have a case here?
Yes, he does.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
Your Honor, at the end of the 9-month probationary period, then the city of Flint would dismiss the 2 charges that have been brought against Ms. Green.
That's a correct and accurate statement. I had an opportunity to discuss the negotiations of the resolution of the file with my client. We are in agreement with it, and my client will be tendering the resignation to the board forthcoming.
Today,
School board members hate each other.
today, with an effective date by the end of the week.
Working on that, Aaron.
All right. I love Judge Herman, but things have slowed down over here. We're going to jump yet again, to the great state of Georgia. 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 Look at that. Shh. Be quiet, Mikey. All right, Mikey. Be quiet. Shh. Easy does it, big boy. First appearances. Let's find out if Niner's home today. Niner, are you there? Niner.
Okay, do you understand? Okay, hold on.
They got a packed house, man.
All right. Do you understand? I know I can tell you need some help and the courts will
I
make
said
it-
no. That's it. I said no. I'm not hearing that shit. I said no.
Okay, well, you can't be around your mom. If you call her from the jail or you go around her, you're gonna be arrested.
But she,
Again,
no, but she put a restraining order on me, and I was around her. Judge Jason.
Okay,
Mr. Trent, if you could just not make any
You
statements
know
right
you're
now.
going to hell. Head ass.
Okay,
She
we're
put a
gonna
restraining
mute-
order on
you're
me,
excused
and
from court.
Blind
Okay,
us?
please excuse from court.
Oh, we got to see this guy. I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm not missing
Okay,
a single word this young man has.
Judge Jason, his name is Trent Mario.
Okay, all right, let me just look over this.
Trent Mario. Let's see what Trent's.
All right,
see
Mario
what to
Trent, I
say.
believe, sir, you're before the court under warrant 22W0 13047. You're charged with aggravated stalking on August 18th. Let's see. There's already a protective order. All right, so.
And
kind of-
Judge,
Yes.
I was unable to go over the warrant in his case as well. He did not want to speak with me to hear the warrant.
Okay.
That was Mitch.
So, Mr. Trent, you're before the court under warrant 22W013047. And Gladys, could you look up the protective order for me real quick?
Trust me, I wish he was here too. It makes my job a lot easier.
Anyway, sir, you're charged with aggravated stalking. The warrant says that you did
Good to see you, sweet tea.
contact the victim in this case at her residence without the consent of that person for the purpose of harassing, intimidating her. I do have the protective order number, I'm sorry. In violation of a current protective order by going to her residence and refusing to leave. The officer confirmed there's an active protective order, sir. You're not supposed to go near the victim. And the only reason this is a felony, not a non-violent, just so you know, Ms. Alvarez, because it alleges that he stated that he would rape the victim, and the victim in this case is his mother. So there's definitely some mental health.
We all heard that correctly, right? He's going to R-word his mother. I don't know if that's mental problems or just he needs his ass beat and locked up forever.
Issues, but he already has a protective order. So sir, you're not entitled to a bond from our court because you're not supposed to have any contact with your mom, and you violated that order. So that makes the court concerned for the safety of your mom. So I'm not able to grant you a bond, but we will notify you when it's time for you to actually have a preliminary hearing on a future date. So I cannot give you a bond. You go ahead and unmute him so I can make sure he understands, since attorney
wow.
can talk to him, please, Mitchell.
Well, things did get crazy there at the last school board meeting, huh?
Okay, do you understand? Okay, hold on.
Wow. Good to see you, Sharon and Rick. I know Rick's probably working, but hey, Rick.
All right. Do you understand? I know I can tell you need some help, and the courts will
I
make
said
it-
no. That's it. I said no. I'm not hearing that shit. I said no.
Okay, well, you can't be around your mom. If you call her from the jail or you go around her, you're gonna be arrested.
But she,
Again,
No,
But
but
you're
she
not-
put a restraining order on me and I was around her, Judge Jason.
Mr. Trent, if you could just not make any
You know
statements right
you're
now.
going to hell. Hey there.
Okay,
She
we're
put a
gonna move
restraining
you.
order on
You're
me
excused from
and
court. Okay, he's excused from court.
Wow. I'm glad we went back to find out what he was. It all
Okay,
makes
let's
sense now,
try to
right?
go back in the normal order. Sorry about the circumstances. So let's go to position 4, which will be Mr. Emmett.
Judge Jason shook.
Charlotte Burbett for Mr. Emmett, Your Honor.
Okay.
Hey,
I thought
Charlotte.
they were trying to hold. Guys, I can handle these cases without holding. I'd rather go through straight. I don't want to hold. Sorry, Gladys. If all of you could know, I don't need to hold cases. I'm just going to ask the attorney if they have the right, even though I believe I'm supposed to read into the record. I'm not going to do it because we're streaming live anyway. So Mr. Emmett, you do have, sorry about that, Gladys. I thought I'd shared that already with them. Mr. Emmett, you have multiple charges before the court. That's 5 counts. And these warrants begin with 22W012954. The incidents allegedly occurred in the city of Lithonia from August 2019 through April 2022. Because of the nature of the charges, you're not entitled to a bond. And Ms. Burbett, were you able to go through the detail of all the charges with your client?
Yes, we have read all of the warrants together in waive reading.
All right. I mean, y'all waive reading on all of them, but this one, what I'll do is make sure that you've had the opportunity to read in detail. And I will ask him, sir, do you understand the nature of the charges against you? Your attorney has gone over those charges with you. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. So your Superior Court only, you'll be notified when it's time to have your hearing, for your preliminary hearing. And with that being said, sir, you are excused from court. So those are all Superior Court only.
You got the big charges. Head on down the street. She's shooting webs everywhere. Charlotte's got a beauty mark or a
That is
piercing
position 4.
right there on her lip.
So we've done 10.
Nancy.
Who represents Mr. Piedad? Have you already gone over the charge and explained the Superior Court only conditions to him? Most public defenders do away with having to get a language line just to tell him he's Superior Court only.
Yes, so I did go over all of the charges with Miss Piedad, and she indicated she understood them. And I also explained to her that it was Superior Court only, and she indicated she understood that.
Okay, so where is Miss Piedad? Okay, well, her attorney's already gone over all the charges with her and explained that I can't grant her a bond, so we're going to go ahead and just make it a Superior Court only. And Ms. Burbett, we'll let your court know when it's time for us to have the preliminary hearing. Her attorney's already gone all the details with her, so she's excused from court. Her attorney's explained everything and that I can't grant her a bond. Okay.
Yeah, they're trying to push through these
18,
today,
I
and
believe that is everybody that is Superior Court only.
she's really got her hands full today. I've never seen her kind of
So,
rattled like she is today.
W069525. Mr. Alexander,
Snoopy. What's down?
And that's my case, Your Honor.
okay. All right, Mr. Alexander, you have 5 charges before the court that begin with warrants 22W013217. You have the 5 following warrants that occurred on August 20th. First warrant charges you with failure to stop at a stop sign. You're charged with misdemeanor obstruction of officers, charge of driving without a license, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and the possession of an open container.
Damn.
All right, these are all misdemeanors except for the one charge. So I do show you have 8 cycles of criminal history. You have a 2012 conviction for tampering with evidence, 2014 possession with the intent to distribute marijuana, a 2016 violation of probation, and you currently have a pending possession of cocaine charge. And you didn't have any drugs on you this time, but it was kind of the basis for you not being able to possess a firearm. What's the state
Down to the ground.
Your Honor, the state is recommending $5,000.
Mr. Alexander also has a conviction in DeKalb from 2007 for felony possession of drugs. This is not the first time, obviously not the first time he's been arrested for drug-related charges. I'm sorry, not drug-related charges. In this case, it was just open container. However, the state does have concerns about him being on the road, given that he was arrested for driving without a valid license. Obviously, he is not allowed to drive. So we will just be recommending $5,000 in this case, and we will not recommend no driving because he does not have a valid license to be driving.
Okay, Ms. Burbett.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Alexander is 34 years old. He indicated to me that he has lived in Georgia his entire life, and he's lived at his current address in Avondale Estates for the last 5 years. He lives there with his brother, and he is also the father of 3 children, one 16 years old, one 2 years old, and one 5 months old. And he indicated to me he is a financial support for those children. He has a job at DeKalb County Sanitation. He's been there for about 7 months, and he's hopeful that he'll be able to return to that job when he gets out on bond. As I said, his ties in this community go deep. He even went to Avondale High School, so he has been living in this area for quite a long time and presents absolutely no risk of fleeing or failing to appear. This is his home, and it's where he's going to stay. I do want to speak a bit to his criminal history. As you heard, the last conviction that he had was almost a decade ago, 8 years ago, and not related to the charges that he has today. There are no drug charges here today. It's no indication of a pattern with these kind of charges that he has right now.
Great.
And, you know, as I said, it's been about 8 years
Slid
since
under
his
the
last
radar for
conviction, so I
8
don't
years,
believe he
Your Honor.
presents any kind of danger to the community going forward. Unfortunately, a $5,000 bond is just not in within Mr. Alexander's reach. He did indicate to me that he would be able to spend or put forth enough to make about a $3,000 bond. So I would just ask Your Honor to consider that and please give him a lower bond than the state's recommendation so that he can get out and get back to working to support his children.
Stay safe, our guy.
Okay, I mean, most of these are misdemeanors except for the one offense. So the failure to stop at the stop sign is going to be a $200 regular bond. The second
Nice, you got for
charge,
5,000. What will we get?
of
5,000
obstruction
table.
officers, let me look at that one again. Hold on one second.
Please like this video, Bo. 110 of you here. Welcome. If you're new, say hello. Who's
All right,
answering?
that one's going to be a $500 regular bond on the misdemeanor obstruction of officers. You do have a possession of cocaine that I guess that you were just released on, sir. That concerns me. You're not supposed to be driving, but the driving without a license is a $200 bond.
NFTs are limited today.
The fourth charge of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon is a $1,500 bond. Give me one moment, please. Let me double check where I am.
Hello.
And the open container will also be 200. They said you had the warrant alleges you had a 6-pack of beer and you were driving with 1 beer open. So, the total bond turns out to be $2,600, close to what your attorney was asking. So you have to post a little over $300 to be released through a bonding company, sir, and you're a convicted felon and you're not supposed to be driving. So you've got charges pending right now for possession of cocaine. So if you want to support your family with the public defender saying, you're gonna have to make some better choices. You have a good job. But you're gonna have to stop these other things that you're allegedly doing. Okay, that's it. There's no conditions. 2,600 regular bond.
Thank you, Judge.
Seven Dwarfs. Good to see you. So I mean, it was a moral victory. Maybe
The next person will be Sky Billingsley.
What a name,
Bernice
Sky
Cabrera Alvarez on behalf of Ms.
Billingsley.
Billingsley.
Okay. All right, so let's see. All right, so you're charged with warrants that begin, 4 warrants with 22W013263. First one charges you with disorderly conduct, making derogatory statements towards Officer Crockett. You're also charged with simple battery against a police officer. Kicked at the officer, hitting the officer's hip and abdomen. They charge that as a misdemeanor. Okay. Obstruction of law enforcement officers. This one was clawed, scratched.
She worked the body.
officer resisting arrest, so that's more. And then criminal trespass, the Red Roof Inn. So let me go ahead and highlight that address. They asked you to leave and not return, and you refused to. I show that Miss Billingsley has no criminal history in the state of North Carolina. On her mishap, if anything.
Your Honor, I'm not seeing any prior criminal history as well. The state will be recommending $2,000, and special conditions: do not return to that Red Roof Inn and 1960 North Druid Hills Road, and mental health evaluation and treatment. Our victim advocate was able to speak with the point of contact at the Red Roof Inn. They indicated that the defendant was a guest and they want a stay away order from the property, and they want her to not return to that location. Based on the allegations, appears that she was screaming and singing in the lobby. So that is why we're recommending mental health evaluation and treatment, especially also given that she does not have prior criminal history.
Okay. Ms. Cabrera Alvarez.
Thank you, Judge. Miss Billingsley is only 18 years old, Your Honor. She's from Georgia, and unfortunately, she has been for the last 2 months having to stay in various hotels. She was a paid resident of the Red Roof at the time. However, she has indicated that if she does need to stay away, she will. Before these past 2 months of her kind of staying in the hotel, she was staying in a house with a roommate, just kind of fell on some hard times, and she has just found out recently that she's pregnant. She's 2 months pregnant. She is currently unemployed, given the fact that she's only 18 years old, just barely even out of high school. She has indicated that she would like to be connected with social workers from our office. She's trying to get a better start. Unfortunately, she had a rough one to adulthood. So we are going to connect her with some folks that might be able to find her some housing and employment to get her back on track and make sure that this isn't a repetitive issue. Just given her circumstances and things right now, Your Honor, she cannot afford a bond. So we are asking for a UJR. As you've already heard, the state indicated she has no criminal history, and we're trying to get her on the right track so that this does not happen again.
I'm almost sure that obstruction of law enforcement officers is bail restricted. I don't believe I can give her I wouldn't give her a UJR anyway, though. It seems like she needs to get some help, and hopefully you guys can get some resources. And I'm certainly open to a bond reconsideration, but I think with the state's,
you guys plan
based on
that?
what's before the court, is pretty serious. So, ma'am, you're going to be trespassed from that location. You cannot go back to that location. Not sure if you're under the influence of drugs or some type of intoxicant, or if you're having underlying mental health issues. Were you able to make, well, of course, no public defender is going to admit that their client may have underlying mental health issues, but I can't even order her to get an evaluation. She's homeless. So.
Ms. Billingsley, please don't make any statements at this time. I'll speak with you after court, okay?
And I will make a star and just put a little note, may be, and then the public defender can send a social worker over. Because I can't order people to go get a mental health evaluation when they have no resources. So may be in need of mental health evaluation and treatment. I'll just make that as a note. And then you're not to return to the Red Roof Inn. She may be saying she has stuff there. I'm not sure, but.
They said she's been staying in hotels. Where is she getting money to stay in hotels? It's not cheap to stay in a hotel. Even the Red Roof Inn.
Your Honor, and I wasn't able to confirm whether or not she was able to get all of her belongings. Would it be possible to add a police escort?
Absolutely, yes. All right, ma'am, I'll give you one trip, and what you'll have to do is call the local police, the county police. Don't go back to that location. You'll be arrested for violating my order not to return there, but I'll give you one trip with the police officers to go and pick up your personal items. All right, so special conditions have been signed. Gladys, if you could let me know if they look okay.
Is she crying? Oh, don't cry.
Yeah,
She's
everything's
crying.
fine. Okay, thank you.
I
All
feel
right,
bad.
let's go.
Judge, I don't believe that I got the bond amount from Ms. Billingsley.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not sure I even broke it down. Hold on one second.
You didn't, Judge. We're waiting.
1 second. I put $500 per charge. Total bond is a $2,000 regular bond, $500 per charge. And
And we're
again, if we
holding
need
the
to file
baby in
motion for
contempt of
reconsideration,
court,
if we
not
obtain
showing up
additional
today.
information, certainly I'll be open to a reconsideration to get her some help.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, position 3, Mr. Cruz Vasquez.
Oop, oop.
That's my case, Your Honor.
She's getting a little
Okay.
crazy in the background. Getting a little crazy. Good to see everybody. Make sure you say hello, drop a like, subscribe.
You have 7 charges before the court. The warrants
Ooh.
begin with 22W013162. The first one charges you with running a traffic light. You have a misdemeanor of fleeing. Let's see,
We had a chase.
fleeing from officers, driving under the influence of alcohol, driving with your license suspended or revoked, reckless driving. It says that you were driving over 100 miles per hour and lost control of your vehicle. Not sure why that's listed as a misdemeanor. It should be a felony. Obstruction of law enforcement officers, refusing to stop when they get put on their equipment, and then possession of a Schedule 1 or Schedule 2 drugs, marijuana. Okay,
Killing it.
67.4 grams. So anyway, your criminal history, I show you have 17 cycles, mostly misdemeanors. A 2016 theft by receiving stolen property, false name. In 2016, you have 2 violations of probation, 1 in 2017. And then you have another DUI pending September
Hi, Barb.
2021 and a possession of marijuana felony VGCSA. So you have the VGCSA here again. You have the DUI
you.
again, and then you have
I
the
love
fleeing,
you.
which looking, it says you went over 100 miles per hour. So that's, I don't know why the judge charged it as a misdemeanor. I'm sure the DA will upgrade that to a felony, fleeing from officers. With that being said, what's the state's recommendation on bond?
Your Honor, we are recommending $6,000 and special conditions, no driving and drug and alcohol treatment. Mr. Cruz Vasquez has been
Yes.
ordered to participate in drug and alcohol program at least 2 times based on the criminal history I'm seeing. The first time was the conviction in Gwinnett from 2014. He was convicted for local ordinance charges amended from misdemeanor marijuana possession. And one of the special conditions is drug and alcohol program. And then his conviction from 2017, also in Gwinnett, for simple battery, he was ordered to take drug and alcohol evaluation and screens as well. I really like for him to receive drug and alcohol treatment if possible. So we strongly recommend that special condition.
Yeah, I'm not gonna add that as a special condition. You said he already has 2. He's not complying, but I'm gonna give him a higher bond. Go ahead. I am being honest with you, Ms. Burbette. He's got 2 prior go get treatment and he's not, and now he's fleeing and endangering the lives of others. And the
He had his
allegations are very
chance.
concerning to the court, but go ahead, please, Ms. I'll hear the Ayala factors for him.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Cruz Vasquez is 25 years old. He told me that he has lived in Georgia his entire life. In fact, currently he lives in Norcross with his mother. He's lived at that same address for 4 years. And he also has a 8-year-old son named Daniel, who he financially provides for. He also has a job at a concrete company. He does a bunch of jobs around there, but he has worked at that job specifically for about 3 months now. He did go to high school in the area. He finished 10th grade at Meadow Creek High School. So as you can see, his connections to this area are pretty deep, and there will be no risk of him fleeing or failing to appear. Additionally, there's nothing in his history that I heard that indicates any kind of failures to appear. I would also like to just highlight for the court that the last conviction that he has was 5 years ago. And the last conviction that he has for a felony, if I'm looking at this correctly, was 8 years ago. And so there's just been nothing that he's been convicted for of this kind of level of severity in the past several years. So I understand Your Honor is inclined to give a higher bond than what the state was asking for. After speaking with Mr. Cruz Vasquez, he is caring for his 8-year-old child, and he is working in a job where he just can't afford the bond that the state is asking for. So we are respectfully asking for a $3,000 bond. I know that ADA SAP had asked for a condition of no driving. However, I think it's
going to be higher than
sort of a
6,000.
situation like the person that we had earlier on the calendar where if he has a suspended license, he's not supposed to be driving anyway. So I would just ask that no driving not be a condition of his bond.
Okay, thank you.
He's
All right, so
7 or
sir,
8.
looking at the information provided to me, I actually believe you're a danger to society. I really, really do. So your bond's going to be high and you need to follow up with this treatment because you need some help. The failure to obey the traffic control device was just, it says that you were speeding and you ran a red light. So that's going to be a $2,000 bond. Going to go to the second charge. Give me one moment for everything to come up.
We're going to be jumping to
The
licking.
second
in
charge
just 1 second.
charges you with fleeing or attempting to elude police officer. And what it says here is that you were driving over 110 miles per hour on the interstate, lost control of your vehicle, striking the center median wall, and your car was disabled and your airbags. It could have ended up in you dying or you killing someone with that 110 and losing control of your car. Anyway, fleeing or attempt, that one's going to be the fleeing or attempting to loot is a $3,000 bond.
That's 5. She's
The
coming in
DUI,
hot.
you already have 1 DUI, I believe. So this, I thought I saw a DUI somewhere. Maybe that's a cocaine charge. Let's see. Nope, look at the
Your
wrong
Honor,
page.
there is a DUI charge.
Yeah, so this DUI is $3,000, driving under the influence again.
Down to the
Okay, I see here.
ground, cocaine.
You have a pending DUI. Driving while your license suspended is $2,000.
We're racking them up. Racking them up.
Reckless driving, let me just look how that's different from what your other charge is. Fleeing, let's see.
She's coming in hot, boy. This is going to be
Pretty
like
much the same, endangering lives of others, so
12 grand or something. She's going big.
that will be a $2,000 bond because it's pretty much the same as the other felony obstruction and possession of Schedule 2. You already are out on, have a pending charge, so that's a $4,000 bond. And sir, I just am concerned about you even being out because I mean, this is the kind of stuff that ends up having families, innocent families,
She's going to send some to
being
death
harmed
here.
from
in a minute.
somebody driving under the influence and speeding over 100 miles per hour. All right, so your total bond, 4,000 is the last one. Your total bond is a $16,000 regular bond. You're not supposed to drive, and you already have 2 felony pending charges, so $16,000 regular bond. You're excused from court.
Oh, I think you
Just
called
to
her.
be clear, Judge, was the not driving a condition or?
No, he's already not supposed to be driving.
Just
Yeah,
making sure.
I don't add special conditions that are already enforced by the law. So no, I'm not adding that. Thank you.
Okay, thank
Right.
All right, so we're going to
Mr.
jump to
Flagg,
licking.
Frederick Flagg.
Let's throw this up here. No one in the courtroom at licking, which is kind of weird. We typically see at least a few people in the courtroom. No one in the courtroom today. good old Judge Stansberry presiding. If you've never been to Licking and you're new here, this is a place you need to get to know. Licking County, Ohio.
In jail over this, I think that's a sufficient punishment. So $150 in court costs are going to be assessed. I'll order you that you serve 2 days in jail. We'll give you credit for the time that you served. So,
Yeah,
any
she hit
questions,
him
Mr.
hard.
Harless?
No, that's it. Thank you, sir.
You may go with the
Make-
officer. Thank you. Tracy Lee. Good afternoon, sir. You Mr. Lee?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Lee, you're here because a warrant was issued for your arrest when you failed to appear as ordered. I can't tell whether that's at 21 or 22. It looks like last week. You got picked up on a warrant that I had issued. They went ahead and had you sign off on some paperwork, and above where you signed, it said show up on the 11th. When you didn't, that's when Judge George issued your most recent arrest. Basically, you've got two options here. Because your case was assigned to me, if you want to change your plea to guilty or no contest, you can do that, and we can resolve it today.
I'm waiting to
If
see him.
you want to stand on your plea of not guilty, I'm going to set a bond for you, and we're going to get a new court date. So what do you want to do?
I wanted to try to get an OR, so how would I do that?
Well,
Camera
tell me
broke
that you want to stand on your plea of not guilty, and then you say whatever you want to say in support of an OR bond.
Yeah, not guilty. I just have a couple of job applications, a couple of interviews coming up that I really have to get to on Wednesday, and then I'll be able to pay those fines. I just didn't remember the court date. And
You don't have any fines associated with this case because you haven't been convicted of anything.
I lost my black
okay.
hair.
You're charged in this case with theft, which is a misdemeanor of the first degree. Carries up to $1,000 fine, up to a 180-day jail term, and so it's the most serious level of offense in our court. What is your current address?
My current address is 76 Curtis Avenue.
Here in Newark?
Yeah.
And
A
who
lot of
are you using that
interviews.
as a mailing address, or are you actually staying there?
As a mailing address.
So where are you staying?
And who actually lives there?
My aunt.
She does allow you to get mail there?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Where are your interviews?
I have one with Black Box, and it's just like a temporary company. And I have another one with Kroger.
All right, I'm looking.
Did he say black box? Somebody look up black box and tell me what that is.
Because I really need a job, and I promise I won't miss this next one.
We've on two separate occasions mailed you an application for court-appointed counsel. You never turned those in. I want to be clear about something. If you show up on the day of your trial and ask for continuance so you can apply for counsel, I'm going to do what's called declare a constructive waiver of an attorney, which means even though you're not saying you're waiving that right, by your failure to take any meaningful steps to actually get a lawyer, you're waiving your right. So if you want to get one, get one. If you don't, don't. But don't understand that there's not going to be a continuance on the day of trial for counsel. Understand?
Yes, sir.
They all say that, Paul. They either have a job interview, they're starting a new job. Every single person that comes up to that podium. Oh, thank you, Kiernoff.
Well, there's an old expression, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. I don't know what it is for fooling me 5 times, but for some God unknown reason, I'm going to cut you loose on an OR bond today. Now, I want to be perfectly clear with you, Mr. Lee. If you fail to appear for your next court date and get arrested on the warrant and you see me,
what are you
I will
talking
not
about?
OR you next time under any circumstance. Understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, Mr. Lee, this case has already been assigned to me. It will be set for a new trial date until and unless an attorney gets involved on your behalf. All notices will go to the address that you put on your bond paperwork. So if you truly can get mail at 76 Curtis, that's great. If you have some other place you want it to go, you can do that. But it is your responsibility to give us a good address. You can keep track of your case online. You can call the clerk's office. There's no excuse to miss court because you didn't know when it was. And as I said, I think I've been pretty clear about what will happen if you fail to appear in the future. And the other thing that can happen is if you ultimately were to plead guilty or be convicted of the offense, I could certainly take those failures to appear into account when I determine what an appropriate sentence might be.
Jail
i.e.,
time.
it could be- All right,
Shop.
Mr. Lee, you have any additional
All
questions today?
your incredible stuff.
All right, show up next time, all right?
Yes, sir.
You may go with the officer.
And
Dominic
good luck
Miller.
with job interviews at Kroger.
Good afternoon, sir. Are you Mr. Miller?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Yes, I am, sir.
And Mr. Miller, do you understand your rights in court today?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Did you receive a copy of the citation?
No, I did not, Your Honor.
Looks like the Highway Patrol, the Ohio State Highway Patrol, is alleging that on August the 21st of this year at approximately 2:19 p.m., you were operating a silver 2014 Toyota on I-70 near milepost 124 within Union Township, Licking County, Ohio. And while you were under the influence of alcohol and or drug of abuse. It's further alleged that you failed to maintain an assured clear distance ahead, which means they say you were going too fast to stop before colliding with somebody or something. And then they've also added an enhancement for what they call distracted driving. That charge, if you were to plead guilty or be convicted of that, carries a mandatory $100 fine. Not more, not less. The assured clear distance ahead charge is a minor misdemeanor. Maximum penalty for that is a $150 fine, but it's not mandatory. And on the OVI charge, you face up to 180 days in jail, up to a $1,075 fine, a mandatory suspension of your license of up to 3 years. That's the maximum possible penalty. There are mandatory minimum penalties associated with the operating a vehicle while impaired. Those include a fine of at least $375, at least a 1-year license suspension, and at least 3 days in jail, or you could be required to, instead of serving a jail time, successfully complete a 3-day driver intervention program. So do you understand all that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And how do you want to plead to the charges?
Not guilty.
What's your current address?
5128 West 82nd Court, Crown Point, Indiana.
Your zip code?
Indiana.
46307.
And what
No
part of the
problem,
state
dude.
is Crown Point in?
Midwestern Indiana, I guess. It's not far. It's about 30 minutes from Chicago, 40 minutes from Chicago.
So you're in northwestern Indiana?
Yes. Oh, yeah, I said Midwestern. My bad. Sorry.
That's okay.
He's not very good at direction.
Are you employed?
Yes, I am, sir.
Where do you work?
I'm a waiter at Malt Brothers.
Is that a chain restaurant or a local restaurant?
Local.
Did he say Malt Brothers? Let me else comment.
Your Honor,
Yes, Mr. Miller.
I was wondering what the urine sample came out to, if you can tell me that.
They don't have those results
You're
back yet,
pregnant.
and they probably won't for at least about 30 days. But when they get those back, you certainly have the right to demand that you be shown the results.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right. So
He just asked him what were the results of the urine test. I mean, wouldn't he know? He kind of knows. So obviously there's something in there and he's wanting to know if it pops.
you can get released, but if you fail to come back, you're on the hook for the whole $1,000. You have the right to-
Oh, okay. So I just don't have any cash on me. I only have a debit card, which I'm not even.
You can talk to the folks down there at the jail about methods of payment. You have an opportunity to contact people on your, that might be able to help you out in that regard. As I said, if you were local, you'd probably be getting released on your own recognizance, but you're from out of state and there's nothing that would require you to come back other than your promise. Not that that's not good enough for me, but I guess it's not good enough for me since I set $1,000 bond. So you can come up with that. You can post it. Make sure you come back for your court date.
So
Otherwise,
10%
I will
would be-
hunt you in Indiana. Your case is going to be assigned randomly to a judge, set for a trial, and you'll get notice in the mail. If you get an attorney by either A, hiring one, or B, asking the court to appoint one to represent you for free, then the notices will go through the attorney. It's important that you stay in touch with that person. The application form for court-appointed counsel is available to you at the jail. If you post that bond, you'll have to get it turned in. If you're unable to post your bond, then they will send that down there for you. But either way, this will get set fairly quickly. Do you have any questions today, Mr. Miller?
Can you I kind of want to go back with you. So I would have to pay the 10% of $1,000 to be released, is what you're saying?
Yes, that's the bond that I set.
So that would be $100 pretty much, right?
Well, whatever 10% of 1,000 is, I'm not very good at math, so I'll take your word for it.
Okay, gotcha.
Any additional questions today, Mr. Miller?
No, sir.
Very well. You may go with the officer. Thank you.
Go with Jesus.
Adam Norman.
Hello, Honor. How are you doing today?
Good afternoon. You're Mr. Norman, sir?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Norman, do you understand your rights in court today?
Why I'm here today? Yeah.
Is Mr. Norman wearing a wig and black lipstick, or is that just okay? Let's check out Mr. Norman. What do you think Mr. Norman's up for?
File.
Yeah, they dropped him down. I appreciate that because I didn't really do anything, Your Honor.
Well, let's not get into that just yet. I need to formally inform you that you've been charged in the first count with criminal damaging. It's a misdemeanor of the second degree. It's carries maximum penalties of up to 90 days in jail, up to a $750 fine, and certainly the possibility of restitution being ordered. We've also been charged in the second count with menacing. That is a misdemeanor of the fourth degree. It carries up to 30 days and up to a $250 fine. How would you like to plead to those charges today?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
And what is your current address?
770 Columbia Street, apartment 302.
Are you employed?
No, I'm disabled, sir.
And how long have you
Your
been
Honor.
receiving disability benefits?
Since I was, for a while, Your Honor.
Okay.
For a while isn't really a measure of time, but okay. I'll take that, I guess. He does
Let
have
me take a
beautiful
quick look at
hair.
the file, and then we're going to talk about your bond, so bear with me.
Okay.
Did he clean his? I swear he had like some black stuff on his lips. It's definitely Mr. Norman Bates. By the way, this is the chance for you all to take a second and be glad you're not locked up like Glenn Danzig here. A young meatloaf, maybe. Norman is a dude. Old school Donald. Meatloaf, another meatloaf, maybe. Mother. Sorry. He's on the disability. He's got some he's got a trick knee. I mean, just seeing Norman makes it worth it. We've had quite the ensemble cast so far today.
Okay. How do you pronounce your mom's name?
Jave.
Jave? Okay. All right. So I'm going to release you on your own recognizance subject to two conditions. Number one, you're not to have any violent contact with Jade Bender. So I'm not saying you can't have contact at all, but it can't get physical. If it gets out of control, if the police get called, even if they don't charge you with a new offense, this bond could get revoked and you could be stuck in jail until the case is over. So it's important that you follow through with that term. The other term is I'm going to order that you undergo a mental health assessment prior to this case being finally resolved. You can contact the probation department for a referral as to where you can have that done. There's several agencies
is
locally.
where I've had it done my whole life, so I prefer to go to there.
Okay, that's fine. But make sure you do undergo that assessment. This case will be randomly assigned to a judge set for a trial. You're going to get notice sent to you in the mail, so make sure your address is right on your bond. You have the right to get an attorney by hiring one. You can apply for a court-appointed counsel. They have the form at the jail. Since I'm releasing you,
I
however.
already have an attorney. I already have an attorney.
You do?
I just have to get in contact with him today, yeah.
Sure, who's that?
Reverend Craig Norman.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm not familiar with him, but as long as he has a license to practice law in Ohio, he's more than welcome to come to the Licking County Municipal Court. Until he gets involved by filing the necessary paperwork, however, all notices will go to you. So as I said, make sure your address is correct. You have any questions?
All right. No, sir, thank you. Your Honor, you have a good day.
You do the same. You may go with the
Thank
officer.
you.
Thank you. All right, Amber Webb.
Amber can't be no better than those last two. No way.
Good afternoon. Are you Miss Webb?
Yes.
Miss Webb, do you understand your rights in court today?
I'm not really totally sure about
Let me ask you, did you watch the video?
Yes.
Did you follow along with the paperwork?
Yes, sir.
And did you understand what they were talking about?
I'm not understanding my charges, is what I'm saying.
Well, you understand you've been charged with both criminal mischief and criminal trespass? Not
Yes,
necessarily
sir.
why you got charged with those, but you understand that those are the charges.
Right, I understand these charges, sir.
Yeah.
The why, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not asking you if you know why they got filed. I'm just asking you if you understand that they did get filed. You do you not?
I do now.
Okay, so the third-degree misdemeanor criminal mischief charge carries up to 60 days in the jail, up to a $500 fine. The criminal trespass is a fourth-degree misdemeanor. That carries up to 30 days in the county jail, up to a $250 fine. Now, you can plead not guilty, guilty, or no contest. How do you wish to plead?
Not guilty.
What is your address?
That's 85 North 8th.
85 North 8th?
Yeah, 8th Street.
And is there an
Ohio.
apartment or anything?
No.
No. Who do you live there with?
Donnie Blanchett.
Good old Donnie.
I don't think I asked you this already. Are you employed?
No, I'm not. I'm on disability.
How long have you been receiving benefits?
For over 4 years.
What kind of work did you do before you were injured?
I would say a janitorial.
Okay. All right, let me take a quick look here at the file.
She would clean her house every once in a while. She was janitorial. I'm waiting for it to fall. I hope so. That'd be awesome. Don't forget we do cases 5 days a week. Don't miss it.
All right.
A dish. It's
so
all.
they mailed you a
all
summons to a 6th Street address. It looks like back in December of last year. That came back as unclaimed, so it was at that point that a warrant went out. So, all right. Are you going to be asking the court to appoint an attorney to represent you?
Do what?
Are you going to be asking the court for an appointed attorney?
Yeah.
All right. Get the form from the jail. They have it down there, but I'm going to release you on a recognizance bond. Since that I'm doing that, you have to turn that in yourself. They won't do it for you. And given the age of this case, don't wait until the day of your trial to make arrangements to get a lawyer. Understand?
All right. Yes, sir.
All right. Until and unless that lawyer's involved, all notices are going directly to you. So make sure the address that's on your bond is complete, current, and correct. Any questions?
All right. No, sir.
You may go with the officer, Ms. Webb. Thank you.
Oh, she's a nice lady.
All right, Sue. Could have been a lot worse. Could have been better.
Yeah, that's called Monday, ain't it?
Yep, pretty much. I will look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Okay, see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Court stands in recess.
And this court stands in recess. I'm going to call it a day right here. It's a good spot to stop. I hate to get wrapped up in anything else. I just got word from Creed. He's expecting a return tomorrow. So you got that to look forward to. A very good cast of characters. A lot of good stuff today. I'm going to go with it could have been worse, but it could have been better. Just like Joe Stansberry just said. Could have been worse, could have been better. Good old Sue, thank you to everybody and all the new people that come and joined us today. Welcome. Go back and watch some of our old court cases. You'll enjoy them, I promise. Well, I can't promise, but I hope you will enjoy them. I'm hoping. Mini Chase Monday happening in about an hour and a half from now. Yeah, an hour and a half from now. Over in the same place you're probably watching this, unless you're watching on We Got a Case, our case only channel. We'll be doing it live. Make sure you're there for that. Great chase from Las Vegas we'll be watching today, as well as a little bit of updated info on what happened there. And this chat is the best chat on all of YouTube or wherever the hell you're watching. We appreciate you guys. We love you all. It's going to be one of those days. Look, this past week was probably one of our worst money making weeks we've had in over a year. So I don't know if it's because Creed's been gone and you guys hate me or what, but we'll figure it out. We'll get it taken care of. We didn't even make enough money to pay me, let alone pay me double. We love you guys. You're all the best. Thanks for all the donos. Thanks to the mods. Thanks to our golfer Lisa for nonstop plugging stuff for us. She's the best too. We love you all. And with that said, we're going to hear one last thing from our good friend. Well, he's my good friend. I don't know if he's your good friend or not, but he's definitely my good friend. Judge, will you please take it away?
Good afternoon. I'm District Judge Herman Marable from 67th District Court here in Flint.
I don't do drugs, though. Just weed.
You will not control